Hi thinkers, welcome to the data science course on ThinkX Academy. In this series, in this course, we have already covered NumPy arrays. So we have covered some of the very important functions that we can perform on NumPy arrays, and in this video we are going to cover all the NumPy mathematical operations that are supported, and we can perform them on the NumPy arrays. So these are some of the basic and some of the very important functions that you will be using throughout your data science career. So let's start with this now. First of all, I will import NumPy as NP very quickly here, and here I'm going to create a matrix which will be a np.array, and here we are just going to create three elements here, which is 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7 8 9. Right, so here you can see that I have created a matrix. Let's quickly check whether we have defined it correctly by printing this out. So here you can see I have created this matrix which has these 9 elements in it, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to perform some of the mathematical operations on this matrix here. For example, dot product, standard deviation, mean, and all the statistical functions also. So let's start with some of the basic ones. So the first one here is to compute the maximum element, which is a very important one, which will actually give the maximum element in this whole matrix. So I'm going to print out, we will use the np.max function, which will actually give us the maximum element of this matrix. So you can see that if I hit Control Enter, you can see that 9 is the maximum element in this whole matrix. Now what I'm going to do here is, let's suppose we want to find out what is the maximum element in this axis, which is the row, right? So here what I can do is I can actually specify the axis here also, which is axis equals to 0. So if I hit Control Enter, now you can see that in the axis 0, 7 8 9 is the maximum element, right? So we can also do that. So if I will write 1 here and I'll hit Control Enter, you can see it will be 3 6 9. So on changing the axis, you can actually return the maximum element according to the axis, which is rows and the columns. So next part, which is similar, is to compute the minimum element, and for that also we have the same technique, which is use np.min function, and here I can just specify the matrix, and you can see that the minimum element of this matrix is 1, and that is what it is printing out here, right? And similarly we can also provide here the axis as 0 and 1 also. Now let's move on to some other functions, and these are actually the statistical functions, right? So basically in this course I have not yet touched these topics of statistics, which is what is the meaning of standard deviation, variance, mean. These are some of the very crucial topics that needs to be covered in data science. So what I will be doing here is, in this tutorial I'll just show how to use them, and in the next video I'm going to teach all the important concepts of these statistics, like variance, mean, standard deviation, and in that way you will be able to understand better how these functions are useful in data science, right? So let's start with the very basic one, which is to compute the mean of the given array. So let's say we are given this matrix here, which is this one. I want to compute the mean. Mean is basically average. So what I can just do is, I want to print the mean of this. So for that I'm just going to use np.mean function, and I will just supply it with the matrix, and you can see here that it returns 5 as the mean, because it is actually the average of all of the elements. We will discuss more of these things, which is the concepts of statistics, in detail in the next tutorial. So let's move on to another statistics concept, which is variance, right? So I'll write it here. variance, or let's just cover all of them in this single cell here. So variance and standard deviation, these are the two things which are very important, and they are used widely in data science, because these are actually very useful to perform some of the important methods of data pre-processing also. So here we can print the mean, and if we want to print the variance, I can just apply it with this one. So you can see that the variance of this given matrix is 6.66, and similarly if I want the standard deviation, I can do that by using np.std, which is standard deviation, and I will just apply it with the matrix here, right? So here you can see if I hit Control Enter, it will give me the standard deviation. So we will study these three important concepts, and there is one more important concept, which is a normal distribution, and we will also study that, right? So let's move on to some of the linear algebra topics. That these are some mathematical concepts, which is the dot product and multiplication and addition of matrices. So let's perform these here. Alright, so the first method that we are going to perform is to calculate the transpose of a matrix. So basically this course requires that you have basic knowledge of mathematics, which is matrices and determinants. So let's see how we can compute the transpose of a matrix. So for that, it is very simple. I can just write matrix dot capital T. If I will hit Control Enter, now you can see this is the transpose of a matrix. So essentially you can see that the rows have become columns here. So 1 2 3 was actually a row in the matrix here, but here when we want to compute the transpose, it becomes the row, right? So you can see now its column is 1 2 3. So that's how we can compute the transpose of a matrix. Now let's move on to how to compute the determinant of a matrix, and these are all the basic concepts of linear algebra, and this is the only mathematics that is required in data science, which is statistics, probability, and linear algebra. Even if you know the basics of these concepts, you are good to go. So let's see how we can calculate the determinant of this matrix. For that, we are going to use NumPy library with this function here. So np.linalg function, which is actually a property, not a function, and then we will use det to calculate the determinant of this matrix, right? So you can see that the determinant of this matrix is this here. So np.linalg.det, right? So let's move on to how to calculate the rank of a matrix. So basically rank is computed as n minus 1, where n stands for basically stands for the number of dimensions of the array, right? So you can see that this array was 3-dimensional. So if I want to compute the rank, what I can simply do is I will again have to use np.linearalgebra dot, so linalg stands for linear algebra here, and since we are using the linear algebra functions, and here I will just write matrix underscore rank, and here I will supply it with the matrix or the array, and here you can see that 2 is the rank of this matrix, right? So that's how you can compute the rank of these matrices. Alright, so we want to move on to some other important functions also. So let's take a look at how to compute the eigenvalues and eigenvectors, right? So eigenvalues and eigenvectors are also important in here. You will be using these functions more oftenly in data pre-processing tasks. So let's see how we can calculate the eigenvalues. So basically, let's suppose we have a square matrix A, and if I multiply, if I do a dot product with V, it will be equal to K, which is the eigenvectors, and again dot product with V, which is the eigenvalues. So basically the purpose of eigenvectors is to actually increase the shape of the square matrix and not the direction, right? So here I can even write that when you will apply linear transformation to A, eigenvectors will change the shape of matrix and not the direction, right? Okay, so let's see how we can compute these two values. So again, we are going to compute the eigenvalues and vectors of this matrix that we are using in this whole program. So the first thing is, if we want to compute the eigenvalues, we will first define two variables here. Let's define two variables, which is eigenvalues and eigenvectors, and we have a function which will return both of these, which is np.linearalgebra.eigeneig, and I'll supply it with the matrix, right? So what this function does, it will return the eigenvalues and eigenvectors, and it will be stored here, right? So let's try to see these values by printing out these values here, which is eigenvalues, and here I will print the eigenvectors, right? So if I hit Control Enter, you can see that this is the eigenvalues, and this whole you can see is an eigenvector, right? So let's move on to more functions. Let's see how we can calculate the dot product, right? So dot product is also very important. Let's see how we can do that. First of all, I will have to create two matrices here. Let's create a very simple matrix 1, 2 and 3, and I will create one more matrix, which is matrix 2, and this will have values 4, 5, 6. And now I want to compute the dot product. So if I want to compute the dot product, I will, first of all, this is going to be np.array, and this will also be in numpy array. Alright, so now if I want to print this out, I will have to use np dot function. So we have a dot function here, and I just need to provide these two matrices in the arguments, which is matrix 1 and matrix 2, right? So you can see here it gives the dot product as 32. So 32 is the dot product of these two matrices. And remember, when we are calculating the dot product, you will first have to understand the linear algebra concepts of how to compute the dot product and how to actually make sure that the rows and columns of these two are matching or not, right? So then only you will be able to calculate the dot product. So let's move on how to add two arrays, which is the addition of these vectors, right? So we are going to take these two, matrix 1 and matrix 2 only. So if I write print matrix 1 using the add function, and we want to add the matrix 1 and matrix 2, right? So you can see that if I try to add them, their corresponding values are added, and it is stored in another vector, which is 5, 7, 9. So 1 plus 4 is 5, then we have 7, then we have 9, right? So similarly, if you want to do the subtraction, you will have to perform the same step. You will have to print numpy np dot subtract function, and again supply it with these two values, which is matrix 1 and matrix 2, right? So you can see that if I subtract them, 1 minus 4 will give me minus 3, 2 minus 5 will give me minus 3, and similarly minus 3 here. So that's how we can calculate the subtraction. And let's see how we can do the multiplication. And this is multiplication, not the dot product. So I'm going to write here that this is not the dot product, this is matrix multiplication, and you will see here what is the difference between them. So for that I'm going to use we can multiply two matrices by just simply using an asterisk like this, and it will multiply these two. So 4 multiplied by 1 is 4, then 10, then 18. So 4, 10, 18 is the answer here. So this is actually the multiplication of two matrices, which is different from the dot product. You can see that dot product was actually 32, right? So now we are going to move on to some other functions as well. Here I'm going to start with how to calculate the inverse of a matrix, right? So in order to calculate the inverse of a matrix, we will have to again use the linear algebra function, and inv function is there. I will just have to supply it with the matrix, and if I hit Control Enter, you can see it will simply calculate the inverse of this matrix, right? So this is the usage of inverse inv function here, which belongs to the linear algebra property. Now we are going to see how to generate random values, which is again a very important concept, how we can generate random values using NumPy. So for that I'm going to create a very simple program, right, which will actually find out 5 random values. So here I'm going to write a comment here, which will be to calculate the 5 random values between 1 to 10, right? So if I want to compute 5 random values between 1 to 10, let's see how we can do that. I will use np dot random function dot randint, and here I will have to supply it with 3 variables, which will go from 0 to 11, and I want 5 values, so it will be like this. So you can see here it will calculate the 5 random values from 1 to 10. So 1, 10, 2, 6, 5 are these values, and 0 and 11 are excluded from this, right? So that's how you can calculate the random value. So one interesting thing here is, if you will again hit Control Enter, it will change this random values, and it will keep changing that. So in order to make this constant, like if you do not want the random values to change every time, you can use a very important thing which is known as seed, right? So for that you can use the np.random.seed function, and here you can supply it with one that you do not want to change this, right? So if I will hit Control Enter, and if I will keep hitting Control Enter, this value will not change, right? So this will become a constant because of this seeding that we have done here. All right, now let's move on to another important thing. Let's say we want to generate some random values from the normal distribution, right? So normal distribution is another important concept of data science. It belongs to the statistics and probability. So we will discuss that also in the next tutorial, where I will cover these concepts of statistics. So Let's first see how we can get the values from the normal distribution. For that, we can actually use np.random.normal function, and then simply I just need to give it a value. So let's give it a value 1.0, which will be actually mean. So we need to give it three parameters. The first will be the mean, the second will be the standard deviation, and the third one is the numbers that you want to generate, right? So 1.0 is the mean, then we have 2.0 as standard deviation, and the number that I want to generate is 10, right? So if I will hit Control Enter, it will automatically pick up these 10 numbers from the normal distribution of the mean, of the given mean and the standard deviation. So basically these are all the important functions of this NumPy library. We will uncover more of them in the as we will move on in this course. So basically that's all for this tutorial. Thanks for watching.